Yael Paran is an Israeli environmentalist and politician, and she is a new member of the Knesset for the Zionist Union. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me.
So Israel is a small country, and sustainability and the environment are essential to its success and growth. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the government is doing enough to address environmental concerns in the country right now. Would you say that's true?
Well, I would say that's unfortunately not just right now. It's even worse right now, I can say, because things, if you don't take care of environmental issues, they get worse. But I think it's been for quite some decades like this, and the environmental issues here has always been seen as sided to, other issues that are the conflict and wars, and of course very urgent issues that are putting other issues aside. So unfortunately, the people in Haifa that live just next to the refineries and are suffering from devastating air pollution for years and are sick, and their children are sick, and the health issues are really concerning them right now, their lives. And I think this is, very unfortunate, and these issues should not and should definitely not stay on the side of the agenda.
So talking about that pollution in Haifa, there's been a lot of concern about the effect that that's going to have on children living within the area. What is the government doing right now to deal with the pollution?
Well, right now there are several issues that are being dealt with in kind of contradicting trends. On one side, the Environmental Protection Ministry is trying to enforce some measures and put some more money and more budget into taking care of the pollution, but I can tell you it's too little and not enough to really take care of the serious pollution that is being going on there for years. On the other hand, there are a lot of plans to develop more and to extend the refineries, to extend other polluting plants, and unfortunately we don't see the government stopping them. On the contrary, they are promoting those development plans.
So speaking of recent moves by the Israeli government, the Israeli Prime Minister approved a natural gas deal not too long ago to allow Americans and Israeli gas companies to actually develop Israel's offshore gas fields. This move came amid a lot of criticism, especially from your party. What do you think about this decision? Why did they make this decision despite that criticism?
Well, I think this decision about the gas deal with the gas monopoly is very bad for Israel. We, as the Zionist Union, and myself, even before I joined the Knesset, were protesting against it and campaigning against it. I think the biggest problem is the monopoly, is that Israel created the monopoly, and this gas deal is ensuring there will remain a monopoly, and this is not good for any economy, and especially a very, very small economy like Israel. And they control the prices, they control all the decisions that are dealt with. We need this gas. We need this gas for Israel. We need this gas to come as quick as possible. On this, I'm not, I'm not in a conflict with the decision with the government, but I really disagree with the way they are dealing with it. And the gas deal is really making sure that the interest of the monopoly will remain the most. This is the interest that they are taking into account, and not Israel's, and not the public and the Israeli public.
You also mentioned beforehand about the issue of building near beaches and that also contributing to environmental concerns. What are the implications of this? We see a lot of big high-rises now that are being built, alongside the coast.
Well, they are, according to the law in Israel, they are not so close to the coast. Not according. The plans are limiting them from more than 300 meters. No building will be built between 100 meters to 300 meters unless it's for tourism. So this is being kept, and right now I don't know if any high-rise is really on the coast. This is definitely illegal, but if you know something I don't, so I will definitely take care of that.
Well, high-rises probably isn't fair, but I see a lot of nice buildings overlooking the sea, so it makes me wonder,
Yeah, well, look, Israel is really confronting a serious development stage because of the issue of of the housing and the price of housing. So everywhere, looking into options of building and developing. Right. I think this is a real threat, and this should be a threat to the, to open areas, and it should really be dealt with wisely. And building outside the built area outside urban spaces should really be looked at very carefully. And this is one very big fight we are dealing with right now, very big challenge.
So on that note, in your view, what does Israel need to be doing the most to combat environmental concerns and to improve sustainability?
Well, there are many, many issues, of course. I think the main issue right now for Israel is the air pollution. Air pollution, we mentioned before in Haifa, we have it in other cities. It's basically mostly from cars, from polluting power plants, from industry, and this really should be taken very, very seriously into account because some of Israeli cities are the highest in pollution among all OECD cities, like Ashkelon and Haifa, and we see Tel Aviv. They are always ranked very high in between really hundreds and hundreds of
Jerusalem
cities.
as well.
Jerusalem as well, that's true.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do to help
very
improve the
much.
environment here, and thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.